to have a conversation about the third study today, I did want to set the foundation that we see codes in nature. So DNA is an informational code. It's a programming language. We have light that initiates thousands of chemical reactions within the cell. So this is a form of communication, and it's a form of an instructional code. And these light emissions come from the cell nucleus. They come from the DNA. So these biological codes are extremely important. It is what allows the patches to work. So I'm applying the same methodology here in the water machine, but just in a different way, so we can get a whole host of benefits that we haven't been able to get before. So our X2O water machine, this is based on a discovery that I made on light emissions that are found in the blood of lobsters. And we study a number of different life forms that don't age: planaria, hydractinia, specific species of ant. And lobsters are of interest because they actually get stronger as they age. I found that there was a pattern, a code of light emissions in the blood, and incredibly, the mathematical ratios of one wavelength of light to the other, that mathematical ratio is found in the book of Genesis 1:1. I went into great detail about this at our conference in October. So the basic technology here is that this is a process to take 6 different wavelengths of light that trigger regenerative mechanism inside of the cell, place those wavelengths of light into water in an entirely new way, and allow those wavelengths of light to be released inside of the body after you drink it. And what's incredible is that you can experience these benefits in the first 15 seconds of consuming the water. So of course, what we want to know is, will this stop human aging, and what might some of the other benefits be? So just as a very brief overview, the first water study that we did collected urine data, blood data. We looked at what effect the water would have on the nervous system by using heart rate variability. We looked at blood flow using infrared. And we found that in this study, 100% of the people that drink the water get a statistically significant change in their measurements, and the water begins to work within 15 seconds. We also found in the water study 1 that the metabolism was improved, and we see an increase in collagen production, increase in muscle protein synthesis, even elevation of NAD, which is strongly linked to age reversal. Now, the second water study, which we covered last month, was a little bit different in that we wanted to look at the bioelectrical measures in the body instead of the biochemistry. And perhaps not surprisingly, we saw over 100 improvements from drinking this water. So this is a systemic effect, and we found improvements in the flow of electrical energy in every single organ in the human body. We also found that our water produces a very powerful relaxation response. So when the nervous system goes into a state of relaxation, we see a reduction in inflammation. And when people are using this water, drinking this water, they notice, for example, if they have arthritis, that their arthritic pain diminishes dramatically within 1 or 2 minutes. And of course, this effect is even more powerful when you combine it with our patches. So this is the perfect technology to be using with X39 and all of our patches. We also did see improvements in blood flow in this study, in cognition, and indications that this would improve longevity. So, water study 3. What we're going to do is take a group of people that are using just our water, and then another group where they're going to be taking the amino acid L-citrulline and the antioxidant sulforaphane with the water. And we're going to see what we can learn from that. We used a whole host of different measures to collect data on this. So like other clinical studies, we've used the Physio Suite, so we can measure things like heart rate variability and electromyography. We use the BioWell to measure the electrical properties of the body. We use the BioPulsar, similarly, that measures electrical potential in different organs throughout the body. Doppler perfusion imaging, which is going to measure blood flow, and so forth. I'll get into these each in a little bit more detail. And like, this is a little bit of a spoiler, but like our previous 2 studies, we saw over 100 statistically significant changes in the body within minutes of drinking this water. So there were positive changes in every single major organ group. So when you drink this water, the energy gets released everywhere and affects the entire body. This is a very powerful systemic effect. So in this study, why did we use the amino acid citrulline? Citrulline is a precursor to nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a gas that's naturally produced in the body. It has, it'll act like as a hormone-like activity, but most importantly, it's a vasodilator. So if you're someone that has cardiovascular problems, you can benefit from citrulline. By the way, we have included L-citrulline in our Celergise formula, 1.5 grams of L-citrulline per serving. So there were many reasons why I wanted to include citrulline in that formula. The main reason is that L-citrulline, as it converts to nitric oxide, has a very powerful effect on mitochondrial function and can, in fact, assist the body under the right conditions in producing more energy. And the more energy that the cell produces, essentially, it's going to function as a younger, healthier cell. So we want to elevate and control the body's levels of nitric oxide. Another thing that's very important about citrulline, and again, under the right conditions, as long as it's balanced with glutathione, and we elevate glutathione as well, not only with our patches, but with the Celergise formula. Very important thing about nitric oxide is that it can stimulate production of additional mitochondria. And this is important. So for example, if we're talking about the mitochondria that exists in muscle tissue, the more mitochondria that you have in your muscle tissue, the more work that your muscles are capable of. So you can increase your athletic performance with L-citrulline. And of course, there's longevity benefits to this. Now, the other material that we used is sulforaphane. Some of you may not be familiar with this. Sulforaphane is found in naturally occurring in things like broccoli, and it is a precursor to glutathione and SOD. SOD is a very powerful antioxidant, superoxide dismutase. We did not include sulforaphane in Celergise because it has a very strong sulfur-like taste. So instead, we included a blend of other antioxidants in Celergise. We included NAC, N-acetylcysteine, which helps convert to glutathione. We included beta-alanine, and so forth. So we have antioxidants in Celergise to support glutathione and SOD levels. But here's the way to think about this. The cells of your body, the mitochondria, they produce energy, and as a result, you get oxidative stress as part of the natural metabolism of converting food over to energy. If we control the oxidative stress with antioxidants, we can continue to support energy production in the cell. If we allow our antioxidants to drop off, then energy production is going to shut down to preserve the integrity of the cell, so it won't be damaged. So this is one of the reasons why antioxidants are so important to our health as well as our longevity. So we wanted to find out in this study if we supplement with citrulline and glutathione and SOD, what effect, how is that going to complement the activity of the water? Now, a concept we're going to be talking about on this is measuring the flow of energy. And one of the ways that we do this is with the BioWell and the BioPulsar. And we look at energy flow through the nervous system as well as the acupuncture system. And just to be clear, when we're talking about acupuncture, this is in scientific terms, not in esoteric terms. Acupuncture, of course, was discovered in China and in India. And what modern science has found is that these acupuncture meridians are really threads of collagen that have electrolytes attached to them, and they conduct infrared energy. So these systems are a communication system in our body that works with light. So we literally have fiber optic cables in our body that use light for communication in addition to the nervous system. Absolutely incredible. So the objective of this study is we've got 20 people, 10 in each group, and we want to see what happens when people drink our water, and then in the other group, what happens when people drink the water with sulforaphane and citrulline. So the X2O machines make this extremely convenient because everything is automated. Our water is charged for 45 minutes with light in the special system that it uses. And we, of course, want to take these measures here before and after. Now, here's some of the equipment that we used in the study. This is what we call the Physio Suite, and we can use it to measure heart rate variability or look for changes in the muscle, also blood volume. The BioWell is an incredibly valuable tool because it looks at energy flow through the body, and we can even use this to visualize the energy field around the body as in this picture. And we can see if there's any disruption to the flow of energy through a specific organ. And then this can tell us if there's a problem with the health of that organ. BioPulsar is a piece of equipment we have here in our lab. We've been using this for over 15 years now, and it's an incredibly valuable tool. For example, what we can do with this is have someone put their hand on the equipment, get baseline data over a period of about 1 minute. You apply an X39 patch to the body, and immediately you can see the effects that the X39 patch has in real time in different tissues, like it shows here in the shoulder, the lung, the heart, the spleen, the kidneys, and so forth. So this allows us to see changes in the electrical activity of the body in real time. Doppler perfusion imaging, this allows us to see changes in blood flow. So we would expect if we were elevating nitric oxide, that blood flow would improve. We had seen previously from drinking this water that it improves cognition, it improves mental awareness. And we measured this in one of the tests by seeing that blood flow to the brain improved. Imagine how this could help people, let's say over the age of 50 or 60, that are have brain fog. We see in real life people drink the water and they say, wow, my brain fog went away. But it's nothing like caffeine, of course. Infrared imaging is an incredible tool. What this allows us to see is that if a person has inflammation in part of the body, let's say they have, in this image, that would be back pain, upper, lower back pain. You drink the water, and now we can see that the inflammation starts to go away and the back pain goes away. We use this one technology, Omron body composition and weight scale. It's very simple and straightforward, but as you can see in the description at the bottom, it allows us to collect a number of very important metrics, which I'm going to show you what we learned from that. This other tool, and you can already see we're collecting enormous amounts of data. TrueMetrics allows us to see energy metabolism, look at blood glucose levels, and HRV is important because when we measure heart rate variability, we can see a relaxation response, and this can tell us if we get a relaxation response, that's going to mean that the body is less stressed, so inflammation is going to go down. And that's not only going to be good for people suffering with pain, but it's also important for longevity. If we get our body into a state of relaxation and there's less inflammation, we live longer. Okay, I'll keep this moving along. So this is a list of the type of data that we collected, which we've kind of already covered a little bit here. I'd say one important thing about the biopulsar, like the BioWell, is that this is in the body when a person experiences pain. This can be measured as a resistance to the flow of a bioelectrical current. So we can measure tissue resistance. And with these tools, if you improve the flow of energy, not only are we going to be helping people that are in pain, but this is also an anti-aging effect and, in fact, a longevity effect. So BioWell and BioPulsar non-invasively can give us this data on how healthy is your heart, how healthy is your kidneys. And so it would be really nice if medical doctors were using these in their labs to give patients some real-time feedback. Again, if we're looking at longevity effects, if someone is not getting good circulation, especially, let's say, down in their peripheral nerves in the feet, that could lead to degeneration of the tissue, such as neuropathy. And so if we see an improvement in blood flow, that's going to help to, I don't want to make a medical claim, but obviously improvement in blood flow is super important. Okay, we've talked about infrared, and we've seen some really surprising effects by measuring body fat percentage, body mass index, metabolism from drinking the water. Very surprising immediate effects. Okay, so we saw that within minutes of consuming this water, that there were measurable, statistically significant changes in 100% of the people that participated. So that would be, in these first 3 studies, 60 out of 60 people. The next study, study number 4, which I'm hoping we'll have the write-up on that where we can talk about that next month. That was a double-blind, placebo-controlled study. And again, we had similar results with that. So out of the 6 studies, we're now approaching about 150, or more than 150 people that have been measured in clinical studies, every single person responding. So imagine, what does that do for your business when 100% of the people get an effect from the product within 15 seconds of drinking the water? Amazing. All right. So let's talk about some of the key findings now. And then after we go through this, I want to get to some of your questions. But first thing, and I think what you'll be very excited about, is that we found that the body age significantly decreased in the water-only group. So just drinking this water decreases biological age. Now we have still yet to come in future studies, telomere testing and epigenetic panels, where we want to show regeneration of the telomeres and the gene expression is flipping back to a more youthful state. But as measured on the Omron body scale, we found that biological age decreased from drinking this water. What we found in the supplement group, people that are elevating nitric oxide and antioxidants, as you would hope, the metabolism increased. People are burning more calories and getting more energy, which in and of itself is an anti-aging effect from drinking this water with the supplements. So that would, when you're combining our water with Celergize, you're going to see that you burn more calories. Anecdotally, I can tell you that people that drink the water lose body fat. We're not ready to make that claim, but that's something that we've seen. The addition of the supplements had an effect on the charge, the electrical charge of the cell, and this was used to increase the metabolism. So there's some very interesting dynamics going on here with supplementation, metabolism, and longevity. As measured by the BioWell and the BioPulsar, we saw positive, statistically significant improvements in the flow of energy through every organ in the body. So we're not going to make any medical claims on this. We keep this as general wellness. But when you use this product, you can expect to see changes everywhere. All right, let's talk about another key finding here, and this is on levels of oxygen. And so just like a car needs air to convert the fuel over into energy, the cells of our body need oxygen to drive the energy production process. So here's what was interesting, was that in Group A, which was the supplement group, the average oxygen levels were at 96%. After drinking the water, the amount of oxygen in the cell increased to 98%. Now, we won't make a medical claim about this, but there are a number of health conditions which are driven by a reduction in oxygen in the cells. So oxygen therapies have been around for a long time, and I often recommend them in the treatment of different disease. But of course, we're not doing that. But this is just to say that this is a form of oxygen therapy. You drink the water, the levels of oxygen in the cell go up. Now in Group B, which didn't have the supplement, we got same effect. So we can see that this increase in oxygen was driven by just drinking the water. It had nothing to do with the supplements. So that's good that we were able to rule that out. And again, we see we went from a median of 97% to 98%. So what benefits could we expect? If you were an athlete, getting enough oxygen into the cells so you can make more energy during competition is critically important. So athletes can benefit from this. Anybody that wants to have natural energy depends on having adequate amounts of oxygen in the cells. So we would expect improvement in physical performance, improvement in cognition. We need energy to heal, so we'd expect that healing would improve. And ultimately, the more energy that the cell produces, the longer that you live. So this is another indicator that you drink this water and it improves longevity. Now, I know many people in our community are going to be excited about the fact that just drinking this water will increase the metabolism and help support a healthy lifestyle and weight loss. we absolutely need to recommend that people exercise, eat healthy, get proper rest. So this is a tool to help your body burn more fat and make more energy. So obvious benefits to this. So again, we can see in the pre and post that just drinking this water, and this of course is now with the supplement group, that the amount of energy that you burn goes up. This effect again was happening with just the water. So you don't have to have the supplements. We can see that again, there's a difference between the baseline and the amount of energy produced after you drink the water. What was interesting was there was one person where the energy burn went up to 2,500 calories. The average was 1,750. So that means some people are going to respond incredibly well to this and lose weight more rapidly. So we get an improvement in metabolic efficiency. So it's like your metabolism is being restored to when it was younger. The cells act like younger, healthier cells. We get improved mitochondrial function. And this is completely consistent with the increased amount of oxygen in the cell that we measured. This was also really interesting. In Group A, the supplement group, the age of the people were between 40 and 75, and we measured a decrease in their biological age. I think I've kind of covered this already. We need to validate this with telomere testing and with looking at gene expression, but it's really exciting to see that there's some initial indications here. We had exactly the same thing happen in the group that was just drinking the water, a decrease in biological age. Okay, I'm going to skip right over to, the end here so we have some time for questions. What did we learn from the first 3 studies now on X2O? We learned that consuming water infused with light increases the production of collagen. Collagen is the most abundant protein in the body, and it forms what's called the cytoskeleton in the cells. Consumption of X2O water, light-infused water, increases muscle protein synthesis. So for those of you that are exercising, you're going to notice you build more muscle more quickly with X2O. We see that light-infused water increases the energy production in the cells. This is exactly what we would expect from a technology that's capable of stopping or reversing human aging. So we validated that now. Really importantly, in the first study, we found that X2O activated the KP pathway. This was indicated by upregulation of amino acids, and this increases NAD. NAD is a key indicator of age reversal in human cells. Blood tests show an expansion of the cells, an increase in the electrical charge around the cell. That is a key sign that we're reversing the age of the cells. We saw improved blood flow, improved cognition, a relaxation response, so reduced inflammation, increase in tissue oxygenation, so a healthier cell, a more vibrant cell that's producing more energy, an improvement in the metabolism. You're burning more calories, so there's more energy available to run your body, to heal the body, to